Welcome to Tuesday's Tips and Tales with Cece Live. It's me tonight. I am flying solo for many reasons. It is my anniversary. Actually, I should say Beaver Tail's anniversary. My phone is like blowing up because of it. On the 20th for the producing and release of my book, Beaver Tales. And I even put on this dress because if you've seen any of my author pictures, I am wearing this dress and thank God it still fits. So I know it's been a good year, it still fits, so that's all that matters. As long as the back zips up, you're good, you're good to go. Let's write another book, which I am working on. So I thought I would take tonight as a fun night of reflecting back on, my phone is blowing up. A fun night of reflecting back on, see, everyone's just like buzzing in, of what the past year has been like, because I would have definitely not have gotten to where I am without all of my friends, my family, my support system, publisher, PR folks, and every one of you out there that is dialing in every single week. And you know, oddly enough, we kind of always get off on this whole discussion of, you know, relationships, and there's some sex, there's some like serious topics such as the presidential race and what's going on in the world. But we always reflect back on what's great for all of us, which is happiness, relationships, and good reading, great reading. I have my books there. But we never really have talked about Beaver Tales. So tonight I just really want to share my journey with you and my dress. This dress actually has brought so much good luck to so many people in my life, in so many people that are in my life. And one of them, I was her maid of honor, Sonia, and hopefully you're dialing in. And I wore this dress the night she got married. Excuse me. And now, after many, many, many years of trying to have a baby, she's pregnant and due. And I'm loving to wear this dress. Here's to you. Hopefully this dress will fit when you have your baby, and I can just kind of saunter in there and say, I love you, kid. The kid is going to be great. It couldn't happen to two better people. So reflecting back, you know, it's difficult to be here alone. I got to tell you, back in my first show, I'll never forget it, over 30 episodes ago, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. You know, my PR people were like, you got to have a show. Tuesday's Tips and Tales with Cece Live. And I'm like, hi. Welcome to Tuesday's Tips and Tales with Cece Live. And it was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life because, you know, I was in the business world and then, you know, got out of the business world, got into skincare, had a baby, and so on and so forth. To put myself out there, along with all of you out there that do podcasts, it's like, how do I get through this? It's scary. It's frightening. We're live. You cannot edit this. I guess you could after, but why would you? You don't want to edit it. You want to be real. And so tonight is a real night because I'm celebrating an accomplishment that I never thought in a million years would ever happen to me. You know, my journey, as in the book, Down the Beaver Trail. That's the first chapter. Yes, Down the Beaver Trail. It talks about growing up in the 70s, going to school in the 80s, fighting the glass ceiling as a woman and establishing yourself and being successful, and then getting burnt out because I was bi-coastal doing this crazy fun job but just done, and then sort of kind of, you know, oh, you're a certain age and you make too much money so you're out. And all of us can relate to that. Not only just women, but men as well. Because men get to a certain age and they struggle with the same hurdles and walls that we as women. But, you know, women have been doing it for a long time. So my Down the Beaver Trail talks about that whole journey through the 70s and 80s to a really cool place, cool job. You know, I would never change anything ever. Worked for some great people, but totally got burnt out. And then I got into skincare. And all of a sudden I'm like going to beauty school, you know, at a very middle age, because I will never release my age, although I'm sure you can Google it. And going to school with 3 types of people. The kids who wanted to like tick their parents off because they all have money and they're like, I'm not going to college because my parents want me to go to Princeton. I'm going to go cut hair or like wax beavers for a living, which is what I did. I love it. And then there was the kid who, and I say kids because most of the kids I went to beauty school with were between 18 and like maybe 24. There was one older woman, 28, who's going through a divorce. So you get the divorcees that are like looking for a career. And then you have the kids who can't even afford to go to college. So they're like, all right, I'm going to do this, you know, I'm going to have a skill. So my skill set is going to be cutting hair or giving facials, waxing, whatever it is. So I was in this entire world with like Mama Di was our teacher, and let me tell you, a movie alone, and I know Beauty School was like a great movie, hysterical. I swear I could like write a movie about this and you would tinkle your pants. There's definitely no doubt. So going through that whole journey and being middle-aged was amazing because I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. You know, I was actually kind of scared. And I'm going to open up to you tonight about things that most people would never even probably talk about, because we all hate to talk about. We don't talk about our fears or our weaknesses. So I went back to school, and at the same time I was going through fertility treatments and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I had an amazing counselor, a career counselor, who, you know, I was trains, planes, and automobiles, put the suit on, jump on the plane, you're bi-coastal, you're like, you know, handling huge accounts, like major accounts that if I said them, you would instantly know who they were. And then all of a sudden, all right, I'm staying home. So you know what I did? I got a puppy. And my little baby puppy just passed away last summer, but that was like 11 years. This dog, I remember just grabbing him and just crying, saying, what am I going to do with my life? And because I was crying is because I was getting shots in the ass for fertility and trying to have a baby in middle age, which is very difficult to do. Because I got married late, and it doesn't even matter what age you are. There are so many women out there that struggle with infertility, and I have to tell you, I'm going to give one word of advice. Like, no matter what happens, just try to keep your relationship together. And if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. You can't tear yourself up because of that. You have to be strong, and you have to hope that if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, then like embrace your life and your family and, you know, your husband or your partner, whoever it is, and get through it. So I was on that track. I had a couple of miscarriages, and it was very sad and it was very challenging. And so I got the puppy. I talked about that. Max, who was amazing, and he got me through so much. He was incredible. Then you kind of move on to, I got the puppy, what am I going to do? The career counselor is like, what are the 3 favorite things that you like to do in your life? Like, what are your 3 favorite things? And you will read this in my book. And this is why I wrote this book, is I want to motivationally speak to all of you and say, find what you love to do. And then really work at it and see if it happens. You can always go back to what you did. You always have that experience. You always have that support system. But I jumped off a cliff, landed on the bottom. There's only one way up, and that was up the side of the cliff. I crawled, and I went to beauty school. Went to beauty school, graduated, took my state boards, passed my state exams, and I literally was driving one day, and I saw this boutique salon, and I walked in the door and I said, do you need a spa? I can start one up for you. And it was a great opportunity. He said, I would love a spa. Now, it was a one-room spa in a very boutique, beautiful hair salon, but I built it all on my own. And you can do that too. You can do that whatever you want to do. You just have to believe in yourself. So I did that. I went in. And through the whole experience, I was going through fertility treatments. Then I got enticed by the corporate day spa. You know, the big day spa. I'm like, well, I need to learn the business side of it, even though I was in business for many, many years on the risk management side. I'm going to do it. So I did. So I kind of learned a little bit of everything, and then I got prego. And I was high risk. I was older age, and I couldn't do the stairs, and it was just crazy. So I went to my house. And I remember through the course of all of my experiences as an esthetician, from when I went to beauty school to the startup boutiques spa to working at the day spa, all these crazy stories would happen. Like, behind those closed doors, you hear things happen, and no one ever talks about it. No one's ever written about it. So I did. And that's how we got to Beaver Tales. You know, over the course of the years, I had so many clients, and like, we're talking hundreds. So the few stories I picked out, you know, my publisher was like, keep it short stories. People are like busy, you know, they want to read short, fun stories. So that's what I did. I even threw myself under the bus in the last chapter. So it was an amazing experience. And through all of this, you will read these stories about the divorcee who is struggling with divorce and like having a hoot nanny of a great time out there dating again, but also struggling. And I can totally relate to that now because I myself have gone through a divorce. And then you have turf management, which is my favorite chapter, about this guy who had so much hair. You could tee a golf ball off his back. Seriously, wind up, boom, off. 300 yards down the golf course. And it would sit there just perfectly. You could put a ball on his hair, on his back. And I was like, dude, you need to trim this thing down. Because what I used to do is I would contact my clients, if they were new, and say, let's cut that down. Don't come to me with curly, long, straggly hair because it's going to hurt. You're going to bleed, and it's not going to be good for you or for me. This guy was amazing. He walked through the door with sheep shears in his hand and like a bottle of tequila. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And you've got to read the chapter because it's so hysterical. And at the end, you're going to go, wow, that must have been so hard. Hey, Angela, honey, I'm just talking a little bit about Beaver Tales because see this beautiful gown I have on? You wear these kind of gowns. It is coming up on my year anniversary of releasing Beaver Tales. So all my author pictures are in this dress. And I even, hold on, brought the red shoes. So tonight is a kickoff to an amazing year, even though it's not quite a year, next week, of releasing Beaver Tales and having an amazing journey to share with everybody. So I was just talking about turf management, which is one of my chapters, the divorcee. We have some cougars. Like these cougars, these women are hot. Guys, if you're out there listening, I mean hot. They are like 45, 50, 55, 60, and they walk in my room and I'm like, holy shit, like, wow, you look amazing. And their stories are priceless. Like, there are like cat fights over men in like bars and like, not literally like where they're wrestling, but like there is like some serious competition out there. And I've talked about this before, about the inventory of men and women. And finding that diamond in the rough of a guy who wants the girl, who is just amazing. Good luck, guys. I mean, there's some great women out there, but holy moly, it's like, I think that like you could spend the next 30 years of your life dating women, and at our age, it doesn't even seem like anyone wants to settle down, which is fine for most people. Who wants to get married again? I don't. If I do, I'll have a show about it. Anyway, so Angela said, hey, Cece, trying to join, but running into issues. No. Oh. So Angela is this amazing country hip singer down out of Atlanta. And if you ever saw her, Angela Rain, check her out on her website. She is fantastic and hot. Another hottie patati. So I'm like all excited. I want to like talk about my journey, but I'm not going to give it all away because the book tells it all. And I have to say, I'm working on book number 2. Not Beaver Tales 2 yet, but I was hired to ghostwrite a story of an individual who has the craziest life. Crazy in a good way. Things, again, that no one talks about. Secret. You know, and we're in an age right now where we should be able to talk about anything, right? So that's why I'm here. I'm here to, this is so hard. I can't even tell you, like I might get a little bit emotional because it took me 2.5 years to write the book. And I remember, what am I going to name the book? And more importantly, what's going to be my pen name? So I was sitting there one night and I had probably edit number 3 in front of me of my manuscript, poured myself a glass of Josh Chardonnay and said, what am I going to be? Who am I? Who's my name going to be? It can't be like Jackie. I mean, it could, but there's already one Jackie Collins, right? So I sat there and I said, I always wanted to be 100% Italian. I'm like Italian, Sicilian, German. Said, I wonder what beaver means in Italian. Castoro. And then I said, what is wax in Italian? And it's cera, C-E-R-A. And I'm like, cera castoro. And I said, cera castoro. I might be able to say that, but how many other people are going to be able to say that? Cera castoro, right? So I went, Cece Castoro. And that's how Cece Castoro came to be. Hey, Hetty, how are you? Have you been on the tennis courts lately? Oh my gosh, this weather's been crazy, right? Playing tennis. So this is kind of like the girl show. I had to put on my long gown. I had to like say yay. And I would love to come out and motivationally speak to any of you about my journey, because it didn't just end at the book. There's so much more to it, from caretaking for my Jewish mother-in-law to the challenges that brought along with bringing up a little baby, and kind of some humor in a lot of that, as well as going through all these different hurdles in your life, from having a baby, fertility, writing a book, being in business, taking care of mother-in-laws, sick people, and then reinventing yourself after, unfortunately, you know, when a marriage ends, it's never any fun. We've talked about that in the past few weeks, about divorce. And it's all good. It's all good. And I'm like loving this dress. I should wear this every day, I think. It's long though, so I can't. But we all are like, have our own journey, and women are amazing. They seem to be able to bounce back pretty well and be self-sufficient. And I've met so many women in my life who are single parents or just single, and they take a leap of faith. They jump off that cliff, they get to the other side, or they drop and they bring themselves back up and reinvent themselves. So it's like amazing. It's all good. So tonight is about Beaver Tales. I hope those of you who have read the book can post a little blurb on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or Goodreads about your experience. And it's funny because when the book first came out, you know, there's all these people that I've learned that are on Amazon and they just love to like trash people. And it's funny, I had like 2 of them, and they not only proceeded to like do Amazon, but Goodreads, and they're like, oh my God, I couldn't believe the subject matter of this book. I'm like, have you seen the cover? I mean, don't buy the book. Look at the cover. She's got underwear at her ankles. It's not porn, but it's like, people say, you should always tell the truth. If you're going to write, and you're going to write true stories, just say it. Don't, cut it down. Don't, until you're in that situation, you don't know. So these people have no idea what they're talking about. They're like, don't buy the book, because it's going to be cheeky. And the funny thing is that the stories are so entertaining and so real. And actually, if you read my first manuscript, my publisher was like, you need to simmer it down a little bit, tone it down just a little bit, because I am a believer that you just tell it like it is. And I wanted to tell exactly what happened in those rooms while protecting the people that I was telling the stories about. None of them will ever know it's about them. I had over 300 clients. I have stories that are just absolutely insane, just crazy, and they make you laugh, and they actually, at the end of the day, make you really think about, life is okay, life is good, and we all have a story to tell, and we all should tell that story. I mean, nobody really, they talk about sadness, they write about sadness, they write about great history. I mean, I love to read, and there's so many great books out there, but no one has written about what happens behind closed doors. So Cece, I wanted to write about what happened, and even if these people knew there was anything in there that was, would make them, they would actually laugh and enjoy the book. So that is why I wrote the book. And beyond that, on Amazon, I have 4.5 stars, because these kooky little people don't realize that if you're going to pick up a book with some sexy legs and underwear hanging down, that you have to have an open mind. And what I write about is all true, funny, cheeky, sexy, and I've been told the men are loving this book. And there's some couple therapy in there. You read that in bed together and have a little something, something. It will actually make you both laugh and take yourself away from this world of, oh my gosh, there's so much going on in politics, and, there aren't the things that are going on in this world is unfortunate, but this will take you away and bring some levity and laughter and sexiness into your life. All right, Angela, what are you saying? So you're going to put these on because I need to see the writing. Amen, sister. Tell it like it is. And yeah, you're totally right. I'm always going to tell it like it is. Wait till you read my next book. And if anybody wants to share their stories with me, I would love to hear them. I'm not going to write about them. I just want you to tell me, when have you ever gone in and get the beaver waxed? And guys, I mean, come on. I have another happy ending story that's in my book, and it wasn't me giving him a happy ending. Don't worry about that. Although I'm sure you would love to read that. This guy went to a spa and was getting happy endings on a regular basis. I mean, this esthetician was making some serious cake, getting some big old cash chips on the side, and then she got busted, and that was the end of the 6-figure salary, from what I'm assuming. So there's a lot of that going on. There's been several, and I'm sure you've read about it wherever you are. Hey, Cindy, how are you? How, these men going for massages, and they're getting a little rubby and a little happy ending. So my story in my book, Happy Ending, is about this guy who just was, getting it on a regular basis, and he also loved hot wax on him. I'm like, really? Anyways, he tried for a millisecond to get a happy ending out of me, and I shut him down. We actually ended up becoming really good friends, but he still loved the hot wax all over him. I can't figure that out. No pain, no gain? I don't know. So it's pick up my book and read it, and here, it was such a journey. If anything, read Down the Beaver Trail. It will inspire you to find what you want to do and love to do. And then, if you do, don't be afraid to talk about it. Go for it. Go for it. Bring it on. That's what you have to do. And if you have a great family, whether it's an immediate family, a spouse, or your parents or siblings, they're always going to be there to help you. So why not? Go for it. Figure out if there's something you've always wanted to do, just go for it. Why not, right? And I just have to show the dress one more time. This is my author dress. Who knows what I'm going to wear in my next book, but I'm sure it will be super fun. And I have to give kudos to Kathleen Meany, who was my photographer, and I said, I want to sit in that bathtub, my friend Sheila's, and it's on my book, Sheila's Bathtub, and have my author picture from the bathtub. And I did. I am sitting in a freestanding tub. Because I remember we would like do Pilates in our humongo bedroom, and I'd be sitting there like struggling, trying to do my 100s, and I'd look over in her beautiful bathroom chandelier and say, that's where I'm going to have my author picture taken. And then of course I have the legs hanging out with the red shoes that I have on right now. And that was just a fun picture, accidental, and we goofed around. We went into their wine cellar and had just a great time. Just do it, everybody. Like, live your dream. All right, Angela, I'm putting on my little cat glasses to read. Why not? I am a true believer in following your passions and dreams at any age. Angela, you are an amazing example of, as well as Barb, and you guys have taken your career and blown it up to the point where there's no return, and in a good way. Like, Angela, you are like one of the most up and coming country, hip hop, TV, radio superstars. Barb, you are like Barb is a single mom. She was in the corporate world and said, I'm going to go get my realtor's license. She is, bar none, the best realtor you could ever have in and around Boston, and her network across the country. Across the country. She placed actually a gentleman from Europe in a beautiful home outside of Boston, and was doing that long distance globally. So if anyone needs an amazing realtor, that's Barb. And she was working a corporate job and just for a hobby, doing some realtor work, and all for her kids and for herself. And she's just amazing. Angela. Cindy, you got your hands full for sure, with 4 strapping kids running around crazy, and you're like building this business of taking care of children, and that's amazing. Follow that dream. You're so good at it. And then I have Tim. Hey Tim, how are you? I'm a few days away from my year anniversary of the book, and I couldn't have done it without my family such as yourself, my brother Tim, because he was there for my kickoff in Boston at the Kimpton Hotel, and it was amazing. His wife, Anishka, and their support system of friends. So thank you very much for being there for me. So, yeah, no comedy guy here tonight, and I love him. He's like, how you doing, Corey? He's out there. I think he's getting a new computer at King of Prussia. But I wanted to really dedicate the show to my journey, and my release of Beaver Tales are coming up on a year. Check it out on Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and read about the journey. And maybe it will inspire you, and I hope it does, to find a dream of your own and follow that dream, because you can always go back to what you did before. And I was fortunate enough to have a really good support system in my life, and I can't thank my fans, my PR people, my family most of all, and I gotta say, Jenny McCarthy, she took a leap of faith on me as well. I was on her show last June, and we're talking about getting back together again, and it was hysterical. She was amazing. And if you're listening out there, Jenny, Michelle, or David, thank you. We're coming up on a year, and I hope we have a little reunion. And Michelle, you can be waxed again. We did a little waxing of Michelle on her show at Sirius XM Radio. All good, and I'm also going to be coming up on another podcast radio show that I will let everyone know about. And hopefully look for my new book at the beginning of next year. And I have a few other surprises coming up, hopefully by the end of the year. So let's see. Last but not least, congratulations, you rock. Thank you, everyone. It's been a great show. And did I say I have my dress on? I love this dress, and thank goodness it still fits. I love you, and everybody, go on to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads, and review my book if you loved it. I would love to see your comments. I'm already 4 stars on Amazon, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you for letting me live my dream. It's been amazing. I look forward to the next year. More Tuesdays, Tips and Tales with CC Live. And I'm going to change things up a little bit. We're gonna have some fun this next year and make it a little more interesting. I think I might be doing some CC favorites next week. So join me and let's live the dream together. If you want me to come out and motivationally speak to anyone that you know, I would love to be there for you. This is CC Castoro saying good night. Thank you. May 20th, my anniversary. Look for me on Twitter and get some Beaver tails to have some fun and take yourself away into a funny, cheeky, sexy world of reading. Love you guys. Good night.